y'all. So this year, 2026, I have a goal to read 300, ha, that's crazy, 30 books. And I think I said like 5,000 pages or something. So I have a couple of reading prompts that I am going to be following to get me to my goal. And I have them written here in this book, so that's what I'm looking at. Now, I'm following 4 reading challenges, and they're all on Storygraph, which is my app that I prefer to use for my book reading tracking. I'm also I joined Fable a couple of days ago, and I've had Goodreads for some years, but I don't really use my Goodreads that much. I have been trying to keep up with the books that I read though on there, just because it's a more popular platform. There's a lot of people on there, and so I guess I could get more reviews and ratings and more information about books and people who read books on Goodreads than I can on Storygraph. But I prefer Storygraph because they let you rate the books in like quarter stars, half stars. They have those graphs, of course, that show you your reading patterns, and they have like little descriptors under each book that tells you it's fiction, nonfiction, thriller, horror, literary, contemporary, and then it'll give you like the tone of the book, like sad, tense, fast-paced, medium, reflective, stuff like that. So those are really good indicators in if I'm going to like a book or not. So Books with Lala started a buzzword reading challenge a few years ago. So I'm going to participate this year, 2026. There's 2 challenges, and I'm enrolled in both of them. I don't think I'm going to finish all of these challenges. The point is to have me reading a wide variety of things. So I have some books that I'm going to pick out because they fit the prompt, and they're not necessarily something I picked up because I was like in the mood to read it. You know, whatever. So the first buzzword challenge prompts are about the title. There's 12 prompts, 1 for each month, but Lala already said you can go however you want to. Just hit those books at some point in the year. You don't have to do it on that month that it's scheduled on for it to be considered completed for the challenge, in her opinion. So I am going to go with the creator's opinion. So for the title prompts, we have before and after. We have keyboard keys, this and that, ordinal numbers, make, making, or maker, one-word title, occupations, groups and clubs, me and my, mine's, parts of a house, contains instructions, and the last one is superlatives. Now, I hope that was clear that that was 12 separate prompts, but if not, I'll do the cover prompts, like I'll number them. So for the cover prompts, we have internal body parts, silhouette, movement, accessories, a border or a frame around the cover, wings, some sort of metallic element, damage to the cover, fire or smoke, doors or keys, reflections, and music. I have found a book that I could use for each one of these prompts except for some of these cover prompts. Music, doors and keys, fire and smoke. I haven't found a book for those yet. Then, so after I find books for those 2 challenges, so that's 24 books if I get a book for each month, and that is going to be 24 books for me to read possibly this year. So then I did the Storygraph onboarding challenge, which is 5 prompts. So that's 5 books that I'm going to read that are completely found through the algorithm that Storygraph created for me. So the prompts for that one, I'll have to come back and tell you. But I did the Storygraph genre challenge also. So I'll insert what the prompts were for the onboarding challenge, but let me just tell you what the books are that I chose. So for the first prompt, I chose Mothership, which is a collection of short stories about Afrofuturism. The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina was, I don't remember what the prompts were. Okay, that's the second book. The third prompt, I picked The Invention of Women. That was for the book that was on my TBR the longest, and I had put in the story graph. So I'm a little mad about that one. I'm gonna have to start on that one soon, because that is like an academically rigorous text, and my mind be turning itself into a pretzel when I try to read that book. So I'm going to have to work on that one for a few months. I can already tell you. The fourth option is either going to be Tender is the Flesh or The Wager. And the fifth option is My Brilliant Friend, which is also my title option for the Me My title. So the last story graph challenge I'm participating in is called Genre Challenge, Storygraph Genre Challenge. There's 10 prompts for this one. So if I read a different book for each prompt, which I'm not going to do, I already have books that are going to cover. I'm going to cover as many prompts as I can with one book, and that's also allowed by Kayla in her challenge. And I mean, even if she didn't allow it, like, what's she going to do? What you going to do to me, Kayla? What you going to do? You going to do nothing? You can't do nothing. You all the way up there in Canada. I'm down here. Not in Canada. So there we go. So anyway, Storygraph Genre Challenge. Love Kayla, by the way. Books and Lala was one of the first YouTube channels that I realized. That's when I first found like BookTube. I was like, what? People are on here just talking about books? This is kind of cool. And it got me back into reading. So shouts out to Books and Lala. All right, Storygraph Genre Challenge, 10 prompts. The first one is a short story collection in translation. I don't know what I'm going to use for this prompt, but I'm thinking something from Latin America would be cool. Or something African, like some Igbo language short stories. Some Anansi stories, like a book of Anansi stories that's been translated. That would be lit. It would be literature and litty for the city. Number 2 is the nonfiction about Indigenous history. There is a book out there, like 21 Things You Didn't Know About something. I might do that book. A queer historical romance is the third prompt. The fourth prompt is a translated classic, which I am very excited about the book I plan on reading for this prompt. I will reveal it when it's time. Number 5 is a young adult by a Latinx author, which is going to also be that Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. A biography of a Black historical figure, which could be, you know, any number of people. I actually want to read about Dorothy Dandridge. I really wanted to read a book about Marilyn Monroe one day in like middle school, and my aunt like wouldn't let me because she wasn't Black, and that was rude, because at the very least she could have gave me somebody else to read about, like, here, read about this Black woman instead. But she just didn't give me no options. She just took my book away and was like, no, you're not about to do your project on this lady. You know, racism is not it's not reverse racism either. Like, and reverse racism is such a weird term. By the way, if I could segue, reverse racism is such a weird term. It's as if white folks are saying that they are the original racists, and racism only comes from white and out. And anything that's racist against whatever race they want to be against is simply racism. But if anyone is against white people, it's reverse racism. So y'all invented racism and want to lay claim to it. Like, I don't quite understand reverse racism, the concept of the term reverse racism. That's my segue. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Number 7 is a crime novel set outside of the UK, US, or Canada. And hopefully Vienna counts because I do have a crime novel that I know of that's set in Vienna. Number 8 is nonfiction philosophy. And I could not find this book on the Storygraph, but Aristotle for Everyone is going to be my choice of some nonfiction philosophy. And let's see. Number 9 is a literary contemporary debut published in 2026. I did find something recently that fits the description, so we'll talk about it if I ever get to that book. And then the first book in a fantasy series, which I'm just now realizing Caraval can be a one-word title. It has metallic stuff on the cover, and it's the first book in a fantasy series. So if I don't read Caraval this year, I'm not trying to really finish this challenge. That's what I'm saying. So those are the challenges I'm participating in this year. I don't really like a TBR, but I do love a book challenge with prompts where I can fit in any kind of book I want at any time. I like a more, what's the word? Flexible. Yeah. No flex zone. No flex zone. No flex zone. All right, yeah. So those are the challenges I'm participating in this year. Let me know what challenges you are participating in the comment section. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you have been binging my videos, I think you should just go on ahead and subscribe because it's time to do that. I'm a binger and I subscribe after like video 4 in a row. I'm like, okay, let me just subscribe to this person. So I mean, I don't have 4 videos up yet, but you know, who knows when you're watching this video, like in the sequence of videos I've uploaded. Okay, I'm rambling again, so I'm going to go now. Bye! Where are you, laptop? Here you are. Does Storygraph have a website? I might not be able to make this video. Oh, yes, I can. I wrote this down. I need to stop that lip smacking shit. Does Storygraph have a website? Who knows? Probably not.